Hello, dear colleagues from Escuela Normal Superior Sor Josefa del Castillo Guevara in Chiquinquirá, Boyacá. So in this opportunity, in this tutorial, we are going to talk about using the noticing approach and guided discovery to teach communicative language. So to start this discussion, firstly, we're going to talk about the advantages of using this noticing approach to teach and learn grammar. So noticing approach is regarding of as an important part of the process of learning a new language, especially in acquisition driven accounts of language learning. When learners at some point of their acquisition process, they notice their errors in pronunciation, for example, as in the case of, for example, when we acquire our first language, we notice immediately our errors, yes, from the modeling that we are receiving from our parents. But in this case, it is adapting to the learning of the different aspects that we are providing to our students when they learned English. So learners notice new language when they pay special attention to its form, its use, and meaning. To do that, we as teachers must provide something that we call concept questions. Questions that connect the something that we give as an input in the classes, for example, spoken language or written language, and we provide concept questions in directly relation with the form of the language, with the use of that specific target language or the meaning. Later, I will talk in depth about that. Second, a noticing will occur when a learner is ready to take on the new language, when the person is ready to understand and to cope the language. Third, the teacher's role will be to create the conditions under which learner can notice aspects of language use that are important for developing the interlanguage or the understanding of what we want to teach as a grammar topic, but through an input. So let's talk a little bit about what is the guided discovery. Since we are providing these concept questions to make the students notice the language, so there is a process inside this approach that we call guided discovery, also known as the inductive approach, as a technique where a teacher provides examples of a language item and helps the learner to find the rules by themselves. So it encourages independence, makes learning more memorable. If analysis is done in groups, it becomes a meaningful communicative task. So how we're going to work on this kind of noticing approach and guided discovery. So first, we need to provide a context that in this case can be a reading text or a spoken text, yes, at the beginning of the class. So first, we try to connect the piece of language that we are going to provide as the input or the context, but we create like the contextualization of this piece of information. After that, we focus on whatever we want to teach them. So the meaning of the grammar structure, the form, the use of the pronunciation. And finally, through the concept questions, we guide students to discover the rules and we check student understanding. Some relevant aspects that we have to take into account when using this approach are as follows. So in this approach, it is relevant um, to make them aware that if they pay attention to the form or the meaning of certain language structures as an input, this will contribute to internalization of the rule. Yes, as Baston in 1996 post. So if we make them to pay attention to the analysis, it's gonna be internalized. So a second relevant aspect is that the primary nature of explicit knowledge or guided from guided discovery is to develop awareness rather than the production of target forms, is make them aware of the use of the language. To do that, in this approach is relevant that we use listening to notice. Students listen and the same text different times, but we can provide a gap filling exercise, for example, and the target form is missing, and the students simply fill it exactly as they hear to help them to notice the form. Listening, we can use also listening to comprehend. So students listen and comprehend a text that has been structured to contain several examples of the target form. We can use checking also. So students are given a written text containing errors, and then we ask them to correct them. We can use understanding the grammar specific point. So with the help of the teacher, the students analyze the data and discover the error. And finally, we can try it. The students apply their knowledge in an activity of production or a production activity. As an example, how it looks like in a real lesson. So I took this example from English Please 2. So the main topic here is parkour as an extreme sport. So before providing this piece of reading text, so we try to make them aware of the kind of language that we are going to present. So we ask them questions to connect the previous knowledge with the further information that we are going to give to them. For example, we can ask them, do you think parkour is an sport or a hobby? Do you think that it is a team or an individual sport or hobby? What do you need if you want to do parkour? Then you read the text, and after that, well, to verify those predictions that they were giving us as an answer from the questions that we provided at the beginning. Then we can give them a reading exercise to verify implicit information or literal information, such as a true or false exercise. For example, parkour is only a sport, and so on and so forth. After that, we design some concept questions to focus on the form that we want to teach at that specific lesson. In this case, we want to pose special attention in the use of like, would like, and love. Yes, as this structure can be used as something to verify the information inside the text. So we can underline or highlight different specific verbs or specific structure that we want them to notice. So for example, we can ask them, look at this sentence, what verb forms comes after love? I love using my body to move freely. So the student must answer that after the verb love, we must use a ing verb. Another example of a concept question can be complete this sentence with like or would like. So we give them the use of the structure. And we create more concept questions based on the awareness of the target language that we want them to focus. So at this point, we don't need to create like grammar charts or tables simplifying the negative or affirmative form of the target language. This is another example taken from the material that I was working on Inspiring Teacher program. So, for example, you have this sentence, this conditional sentence. If I have money, I'll go to the movies. Which of these questions can be used for use, meaning, or form? So I can ask concept questions such as, do I have the money? Is the person referring to a real or possible situation? Which movie will you see? Which verb form do you use in the first sentence or in the first part of the sentence? Is the second sentence in present? When will you go to the movies? What's the connection between the two sentences? Do we use the structure for possible situations in the future or situations in the past? And as you can see, each one of them is related to different aspects of the language that we make them aware when learning grammar. For example, is the person referring to a real or a possible situation? It has to do with meaning, yes? What is the meaning of the sentence? So each one of them is related with each one of the three main aspects that we use in the notice approach. So I hope you enjoyed this information, and I expect uh, I am wondering to continue sharing this kind of useful information in a further meeting. So thanks for paying attention to me and to listen this new or this probably something that is not new for you, but refresh some knowledge about how we can design better lessons for our students. So thanks for being such an audience, and bye bye.